Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Howdy folks, this is episode 118 of The Hungry Gamers. Boom. We are here powered by Audio Technica and 8bit.net. And as our fearless leader loves to say, we are also a proud card-carrying member of the hashtag 8bit Collective. Be sure to go and check that out for more episodes and more shows from the 8bit family. I am, of course, Saleem Abraham, and I am joined today by two very special people, very, very dear people to me, on such a special day too, no less. I am joined, of course, by Miss Ally Hart and Jono Pech. Howdy, folks. How are we today?
Pretty good,
Doing
thanks.
good.
Good to be here. Thanks for inviting me back. I think this is... I think it's my 5th episode, actually, so I'm celebrating.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think you've been in more than like one.
Yeah, you should just expect it now. You shouldn't wait for the invitation. You should ask us when you're on next, really, Jono.
When am I on next?
I know you've got nothing.
I'm already planning
Next
that.
week?
Probably much sooner than you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Probably next week.
I didn't know if you'd be game to have me back, Saleem, after chickening out on The Last of Us and letting me down. I thought you'd be in hiding.
I thought it would be only fair to bring you back so that you could have your say.
I just want you to explain to me how you went from, gung-ho, this is the greatest thing ever, to, I'm probably not going to finish this. Like, what was it was it just you spent 2 weeks without touching it, and then you just, I don't know, explain it to me. I don't understand something.
Well, the short answer to that question is Battle for Azeroth. The long answer to that question, though, is really, I don't actually know. It doesn't take long. I know the game's only like 10 hours.
So why are you so confident that you're never going to go back?
Well, I'm not. It's not that I'm not. I'll definitely finish it. Here's the thing. I'll definitely finish it.
I haven't heard that yet.
Hold on. I'll definitely finish it. But I knew I wasn't going to finish it in the 2-3 week period that I think I'd initially set myself based on challenges and stuff. And there were a lot of words thrown at the time about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. NATO kept chewing my ear about the next thing, about how I should go and play some other game. I forget which one. But it was a very confusing time for all of us. And in the midst of the chaos, I just didn't get around to completing The Last of Us.
Well, it was
so, incident...
I was going to say, Sam, I'm not going to chew at your foot for this because, I can totally understand that you started playing it and then maybe you just didn't want to keep playing it because it didn't pique your interest. Yeah, so...
It wasn't that, though, Ali. It was actually that, Jono was in Hawaii. You were in Hawaii, Jono, and I was at work. And I was doing some mundane work task. And I was also reflecting on how much I was enjoying this game, which doesn't happen to me often. Like, I don't really sit down and think and consider, story moments, arc, just the beats that help a game.
It's a special game.
Progress. Yeah. It was. Like, it was a great game.
You had me going there for a while.
I was fanboying.
I thought that you were actually going to follow through, but hey.
I wasn't. Look, all right. I'm a serial flake. What can I say?
Victim of WoW.
But incidentally, my housemate started playing it, and I'd be sitting on the couch next to her, watching her go through it, and if you think I'm bad, and if you think Ali's bad, Jono, my housemate skips the cutscenes.
Oh my gosh.
She plays purely for gameplay.
I've heard of these people. I've heard of them.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you skipping? How do you know what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. I don't care. Just
get from point A to point B.
Clickers.
Yeah. Shoot some people.
Which is, it actually is a fine game to do that through. It's not like a great thing to do in that game, but the game's gameplay is kind of good enough that you'd be entertained, I guess, going from start to finish.
Yeah, it can go.
Although, what do I know?
You can do it either way.
Yeah,
with
what
that
do
game.
you know, Sam? What do you know about this game?
I was just saying you can go either way because I've seen like videos on YouTube where they've just stitched together all the cutscenes, and like you can just watch that and still understand the game, even though there is so much storytelling within the movement and like the exploration and stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, maybe
it is a special.
You'll finish it before the Last of Us 2 comes out, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And please tell me you're not one of these people that's like, oh, now I have to start from the start of the game because you'll just never do it.
Yeah, no, it's fresh enough. I know. Where I'm up to at the moment is we've just gone to try and get a car, and we're stuck talking to I forget his name. I'm gonna call him old. His town. I was going to call him Old Gil. We're stuck in Billstown, and he's got traps everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm up to at the moment. My housemate got there in 4 hours.
Yeah.
She's just doing it on easy mode. Anyway, we are of course back for episode 118. I said it was a special day today. Happy Father's Day out there to all the fathers. Who are celebrating this lovely day with their children.
Yeah, as well to those mothers as well that have to take on the role as fathers as well.
Absolutely, of course, as well to mothers who are doing two parents' job in one. There should be a day for that. What do you think, Ally?
Badass fucking Mother's Day, yeah.
Badass M's Day, and also Badass F's Day for the fathers who are stuck in the reverse.
Yeah, stuck in the reverse.
We should get 2 new holidays. They should be public holidays.
Yeah.
Who do we talk to about this? I don't know. This is a show about video games. Who wants to start? Ally, you have.
I'm always on.
Her name starts with
top
A.
of the list. Yeah.
That's right. We'll go in alphabetical order, I guess.
Always hated school. But the bloody A's. So I've actually noticed as I was typing in the list of games that I've been playing today, I've been playing a bunch of 2s. I don't know what that says. So I jumped onto Overcooked 2 on Switch. I have yet to play it with other people, which is the way that I normally play this game. So this was actually my first go at playing it single player.
How do you play
and
it by
fucking
yourself?
Sucks. Oh my god, it is lame.
How does it
is
work?
So you still have 2 chefs, and then you've got to get one set up doing one task, and then you hit the bumper, and then you go to another one and get them to do. So you're switching backwards and forths, and it's really not enjoyable.
Does it give you less of a score to reach for? Is it adjusted goal? Because I can't imagine you could get anywhere near what you would with 2 people because it's only one person at a time.
I'm assuming that the goals adjusted. From what I remember, the last one to get a gold star was 370, I think, for 3 gold stars. And in saying that, I've obviously only ever gotten the 3 gold stars, but I'm also one of those horrible people where I can't push forward until I get those 3 gold stars. So I've unlocked the next level, that's fine. But I'm like, nah, I ain't going anywhere until I get the 3rd gold star. So, but gameplay wise, this is not fun in single player. Not fun at all. I've got no one to yell at except for myself.
Yeah, you can't yell at yourself.
I'm not a fan of games. I'm not a fan of games that do that. Snipper Clips does that, where if you want to do puzzles on your own, you have to switch between the characters. And it just kills the pacing.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
It is. It's really sad.
Well, it's how the game gets around, the need for 2 players, really. What else can you do if the whole game design's built around having multiplayer, a multiplayer setup? Yeah. Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to other people buying that on the Switch, please. Please. Play with me. Thanks, guys. And then the second one that I played was Guacamelee 2. I absolutely loved Guacamelee 1. I'm not really a platformer. Back in the day when I was young, I used to always play platformers because that was generally what you had available anyway. But I don't really play them now. But Guacamelee is one of the ones that I will always go back to. I love the style. I love the music. I love the gameplay. It really cuts the crap for you. And then in Guacamelee 2, it really fucking cuts the crap. If you didn't play 1, it just breezes past what the story was. It kind of goes, figure out the controls. Yeah, you're good. All right, get onto it. I don't know how far into it I am. I think I've gotten my 2nd or 3rd power. Still haven't turned into a chicken yet, which is
The
a key
highlight,
factor
yeah.
in this game. Yeah, is turning into the chicken. So, dialogue's fun in it too. It's just a fun game.
Does it feel like
I
the
actually
first
got
one?
I loved the first
Does it,
one.
does it feel like the first one though? Like they haven't mixed it up too much?
Yeah, no, it does. It feels like the first one, but not in the same sense where you're like, I just feel like I'm playing the same game. Like it's like it's familiar but new at the same time. So, I actually got this on PC. I think the first time I played it, I think I played it on either Xbox or PS4. But in all honesty, when this comes to the Switch, I'll probably buy it on that as well, just because it feels perfect for the Switch.
Cool.
Yeah.
I never played any of them. I never played
recommend
the
it.
first one.
It's
Never
rad.
played the second one.
I really
Yeah.
recommend this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I
check
don't
it out.
usually finish. Yeah, I don't usually finish games too much, but that Guacamelee, had me. I think I finished it actually within like a couple of weeks, to be honest. So, yeah,
Nice.
has a draw. The other second I've been playing, which everyone knows, is Destiny 2. Pretty much got my full purple armor now and just trying out PvP.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, you heard me the other day playing PvP,
Yeah.
and it's a colourful experience in language.
Oh, you were complaining a lot about people mushroom stabbing, like teabagging other people. You were very upset by that, and you were on Discord telling me, "I'm not with them. I'm not with them." Like you're embarrassed.
I
saying
was
something.
embarrassed. It was embarrassing.
Back your team, Ally. Be
No,
a team
fuck
player.
my
Get in there.
team. No, they're not being team players if they're fucking mushroom stamping people's foreheads. Like, I was like, that's such an old thing.
So you
I
were
don't
with
get
them.
it. Well, we're on, like, I don't know who they are. I just got I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but me witnessing it, I'm just like, dude, no. Like, no, please stop. Because I felt like a really embarrassed mum, like really disappointed in the team.
Proud of you.
Yeah, but then today everyone's trying out Gambit mode, which is the like PvE. You get a group of people versing against like a horde of, well, whatever they choose, and people are playing that today. And I had a quick look at everyone playing it. That looks fun. It looks like your average kind of like horde-ish mode kind of thing. So hopefully I get to play that today. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So I think I'm going to be on this Destiny trail for a bit.
Yeah, I'm feeling something very similar with WoW at the moment, which is also I'm also in a gear grind part of the game, which is just like there's no hook like it really in gaming. I can't think of anything that gets you as stuck playing a game as a good old-fashioned gear grind. Especially when it matters, like especially when it's really relevant to the game, like when new content's coming out. It sucks. Like I love it, but it sucks.
I don't know. Like I know a part of me should hate what they're essentially doing. Like I can see it. I'm not an idiot. I know what they're doing. They're making me just do the repetition and doing it over and over again. But I mean, I'm coming back. I'm doing it. I am enjoying myself. So, I mean,
It's all
sucks to be
good.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask just to like put a time to how long it's taken you to get from we'll say where you started your gear grind to where you are now?
Oh,
for Full
okay.
Purple? Like how many hours?
Hours? You know what? Like, I had a friend that actually took me through it because he was high level and everything.
Okay.
But in all honesty, it only took me, like, we'd probably play about, like, 3 hours a night and then maybe 3 nights a week. And I went from your basics to purple within that time span. So I'd say 2 weeks with, you know,
3 hours a day,
3 hours
14
a day,
days,
yeah.
2 weeks. Yeah, so you're looking at like 42 hours.
that make it sound a little bit bad. That's a work week.
It's not bad. It's like it's pretty good. You spaced it out well, but you've also like 3 hours a day is a pretty solid commitment. All right, cool.
Destiny. I don't think that'd be the same for WoW, would it? I just assume that with those kind of games.
No.
Yeah,
no,
3
it's
hours.
like-
3 hours is like what?
3 hours
A
isn't
lunch
even
break.
enough to. It's like it's not great. 3 hours. 3 hours. Those are rookie numbers in WoW. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Jono, mate, what have you been up to this week?
A little bit. I have, well, since I last was on here, I think I was playing Mega Man 5 or 6 at the time. I finished both of those, went back and finished the first Mega Man, so I'm done with that Legacy Collection for now. And
Nice.
I have moved on. I'm still just waiting for Spider-Man, but in the meantime, picked up A Night in the Woods, which is on sale.
Oh,
And-
how was that?
It's interesting. It got a lot of hype last year. It was in some
did.
Game of the Year discussions. So I was going in with pretty high expectations, and I've been a little bit disappointed, probably because of that, because it's a perfectly fine... I guess it's an old school adventure game, but it's not, because there's no puzzles, really. It's a hard one to peg, because the dialogue is fantastic. It's really snappy and a really, I think, cool representation of, like, young adults, because it reminds me of going back home from uni in the holidays and catching up with people and family, and that's kind of what the story is. But obviously it's animals, but it also feels really I guess I'm 30 now, so I'm not by any means that age, but it feels like how 20-year-olds would talk now. So they've done a really good job with the writing. I wish there was voice acting, because that kind of takes a little bit away from it for me in terms of just like the comic timing. I think that really misses, like the jokes don't hit as hard as they could. And yeah, there's no puzzles and stuff, so it is really just go to this point and then go to this point. And there's a few little extra things you can do, but yeah, it's taken a while. I think I'm almost finished, and there hasn't really been like a conflict in the game. It's kind of like an indie movie where nothing happens, if that makes sense. Like one of those mumblecore movies. And I think there might have just been a bit of conflict in like the last couple of hours, but yeah, it's not like a mystery to solve or anything like that. It's more just a slice of life and maybe some self-discovery, that kind of thing, yeah.
Oh, you may have just saved me a purchase, because that game has been sitting on my wish list.
Yeah, I mean, it's on
I
sale at the moment. I think it's half price on PSN if you are curious. And it's definitely... I don't regret playing it, especially for, just being in, like, purgatory waiting for Spider-Man to come out. But, yeah, if you're expecting something like a LucasArts or a Broken Age, I was really hoping it was more along the lines of Broken Age, and it's not. But, yeah, it's a laugh-out-loud writing experience. So it's worth checking out. It's just you have to go into it with the right expectations, I think.
Okay. Hopefully with that kind of explanation now I know what I'm going into.
Now that I've knocked it down a few pegs. But and the art style is really cool. It's kind of like it reminds me of the old like cut out pieces of paper used in animation and that kind of thing, which is kind of cool. And the relationships are all quite interesting and unique, I think, too. So, yeah, definitely, if it's your kind of thing from what I've described, you should check it out. But if you're looking for an actual challenge and puzzles and that kind of thing, it might be a skip. But the other game I've been playing, it was only a kind of brief experience, because it's, I guess, it's like a demo, but it's the NBA 2K prelude for the upcoming NBA 2K19. Shout out to Pez. And it's just basically like the introduction to the My Career mode. So it's maybe like 2 or 3 hours where you create your player. And in this story, they start off like missing the NBA draft. They don't get picked, so they have to go play in China. And you play a couple of games over there. And there's a bit of story woven in there. It's got Anthony Mackie, I think that's how you pronounce his name, from the Avengers movies. And there's actually some really like big name actors they've put into this. Haley Joel Osment, Michael Rappaport, and some other cool dudes. But yeah, it's
really
yeah. That's a few. I was like, Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah.
What?
It's rad.
What's Michael Rappaport doing in it?
I think I haven't got to the point where he's at it, but he's in the trailer. I think he's like a trainer or like a coach or something. Yeah, he's awesome though. I love that dude.
I didn't realize there was so much depth into these sport games where there was actually like a campaign mode. Like,
yeah, it's pretty.
I don't
like
play sports.
a couple of years ago, they had Spike Lee directing it, so it's they put a fair bit into it. And like I know a lot of people who play it just don't care about that side of it. They just want to skip through the cutscenes and get to where they can like grind up their players and level up and play online. But I've always been about the kind of career mode, so it's important to me.
I just realized I did know that stuff because of the WWE games, but I never played campaign, so.
Yeah, and I think that the 2K like NBA games have been ahead of the curve in a lot of ways, because you see like Madden's doing it now with, I think it's called Long Shot or something, and then the FIFA games have done it recently, last couple of years, just adding that kind of story mode. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think 2017, which was released in 2016, was the first FIFA game to have a story. I think that's the case.
Yeah.
Or it might have been 2018. Yeah.
Yep. And like NBA's 2K's been doing it for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, wow.
Are they still doing the face scanning thing? Because that's the only thing I ever remember from NBA like games, is that people would make monstrosities with the face scanning.
It works a bit better now.
Technology.
I made a few weird looking ones before I got it right. It's all about just getting the right lighting, basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Story of my
I was
life.
reading. This isn't. I didn't put this in the news this week because I feel like we've talked about it to death. But there was news this week that the microtransaction changes that were being enforced in Belgium.
Germany?
I think I got that right.
Yeah.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Took effect last week for games made by 2K and Blizzard. So basically, what is it? Is it like the All-Star card packs in 2K games?
My
where
Team,
you get
I
the
think,
players
yeah.
for your My Team. That's
Yeah.
what it's called. So those are gone. Loot boxes are gone in Overwatch, and loot crates are gone in Heroes of the Storm.
They're just gone completely?
Yeah, they're gone completely. What Blizzard have done, I'm not 100% sure what 2K have done. I wouldn't be surprised if it is the same as what Blizzard did. But what Blizzard did was basically leave all of the content in there and just make it available through in-game currency, which makes sense, I guess. But their post on Blizzard's forum was to say that, you know, they don't want this to ruin the gaming experience for players, which it would, I guess, if you can't get everything.
Yeah.
So they've just gone ahead and done that. I was actually really interested to see what they would do to get around this and how it would work. I thought it was also going to apply to Hearthstone. So I was really interested to see how you get around that with a CCG. But not the case. Apparently CCGs are exempt from these rule changes.
So could you put on like a VPN to Belgium and then get access to all this stuff without having to pay for it?
Wonderful question.
Already finding a way to get in the system.
I have no idea. That's a great question. I guess you could, because we did something similar with Paragon in early access. Brenton, I don't know if you did it too, Ali, but Brenton and I set up American accounts on PSN,
Right.
which didn't actually require a VPN.
Why didn't I have to do it? I don't know why. I was
No.
fine.
This was
'Cause I was PC.
This was early access.
Yeah, I think maybe because mine was PC.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, that's just a little aside for our friend at
Interesting.
2K. Yeah, it's pretty... Well, I mean, like, this is what will happen if these rules are more widely accepted and adopted. Anyway, cool. When is 2K coming out? The NBA 2K19 coming out?
If you get the like pre-order special edition or whatever, it comes out this Friday, the 7th. And then I think otherwise it's like Monday or something. But yeah. So it'll be competing with Spider-Man for a few days.
I was going to say, just in time for you not to play it because you're playing Spider-Man. Well, keep your eyes peeled for that. I've never actually played a 2K game.
Oh, really?
Like a NBA 2K game. Yeah, not as far as Yeah, no, definitely not.
Fake
ever.
fan.
You didn't play wrestling?
It's not that I'm a fake fan. I'm actually a new NBA fan. I'm a new NBA guy. Yeah,
Cool.
so I might have to jump onto it.
Yeah. Get in there, play with Pez and me and Brendan. We'll get some 2-on-2 going or something.
I'll see if Pez sweetens the deal for me somehow. Hey Pez, wink wink. This week for me, I've been playing, of course, Battle for Azeroth. I've been faking my way through it. So I'm playing a healer class, and Ally was gear grinding and, you know, trying to rid herself of the shame of playing with players who were teabagging their fallen enemies. I too was doing a lot of defending of myself. I was playing a Mythic Zero dungeon, so it's the hardest content available at the moment. It's not very hard in the grand scheme of things, but it's the hardest thing you can do at the moment to gear up. And it was my first time. It's like dungeons on the hardest difficulty that you can do. There are very specific tactics that players employ to get through these dungeons, which typically require like research and reading up and videos. I was going in blind. And also playing a healer class that's very difficult to play, a restoration druid. And also, I'm not very good, is what I learned. And like we were wiping on trash, and I was just like, every time it happened, I just kept typing, "I'm so sorry."
Did you ever tell them that it was your first time?
I did, yeah, I did. So I ended up getting in the Discord channel with them, and it was just awkward because every time something bad would happen, the Discord channel would just go silent. And I knew that they were talking amongst themselves. It went from like me just kind of going in or like, "Hey guys, yeah, let's do it," to the end I was like, "Well, I guess I'll be going now. I'll take my one bit of gear that I got." I actually got a nice little gear upgrade in there too, which was good.
At least you got something out of it.
Yeah, something for swallowing my pride. It was not fun. The gear grind is real in that game though. Like there's so much to do, so many dailies. It's actually quite overwhelming, I think. And some people like I'm following friend Chinglish Ryan, who's geared up like 4 characters now to max gear level or raid ready gear level, and I'm still on my first. Like it's crazy. I don't know. Some people can just sink so much time and some people do it way more efficiently than I do as well, I think. Yeah. I just suck.
I thought after all this time you'd be like a pro, man. Sounds like you've dedicated a lot of time to something you're not very good at.
It's what's become apparent to me as well in recent days, Jono. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm just trying to be humble about it, I guess, because
I'm just messing with you. It's all good.
Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry. I've been staring into the mirror all week, asking these questions. What are you doing with your life, Sam? Playing Battle for Azeroth, wasting time there. Don't be surprised if you never hear me talk about Battle for Azeroth ever again.
I would be shocked. You know what, Saleem? Can I tell a story?
What?
I think it might have been like 2 months ago I was on this podcast. It might have been during the podcast or after the podcast. But I remember you saying that you can't talk about WoW for more than 30 seconds before people's eyes start to glaze over. Yeah, and every episode of The Hungry Gamers since then, you've put that to test. Because you've probably talked about it for like 5 minutes per episode.
I honestly, though, it's crazy how addicted I've become to this game. It's an addiction. Yeah. I'm actually the kid on 60 Minutes who's not going to school for 2 years.
Headbutting people.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
That was crazy. That made me chuckle when I saw that at work. You'll post about that. There's a 60 Minutes episode that would have already been airing. It would have already aired in Australia if by the time you hear this. But anyway, apparently gaming's bad for you.
Apparently.
And it's just gaming's fault. It's got nothing to do with
yeah.
parenting. Parents are on Father's Day as well. They air this story of all days. Have some respect. Anyway, all right. Enough about that. On to two brand new games for me, or 1.5 brand new games for me. I've been playing Maple Story on mobile, which is a mobile version of the old classic Maple Story. I actually played Maple Story as a teenager. It was a learning experience for me. I might have even played it before I first played World of Warcraft.
Wow.
Just going way back then. Maple Story actually taught me a little bit about the birds and the bees, believe it or not.
Oh God!
So
I'm scared now.
I'm terrified.
Well, it's a really PG story. Trust me. I couldn't, for whatever reason, my computer's web browser at the time wouldn't let me actually register an account for MapleStory on their website. It just didn't work. So I had to get my friend to do it, who was playing with me. And just to like stuff around, he made me a girl.
Sure.
So which totally he totally got me, because when I logged in and my character was a girl, I was like, what are you doing, man? I don't want to be a girl. I can't play this game right now as a girl. I was like 12, 13. It was the worst thing
I
ever
thought you were talking
happened
about
to me.
now. Sorry.
No. This is 2002 or 3. So he totally got me. So anyway, he wouldn't fix it, and I was stuck playing a girl. And I started just playing, and people would roll up to my character and just drop cool items in front of me for me to pick up. Like, people would just drop weapons and stuff.
Welcome
high
to
level.
being a female. Happens to me all the time. People just come up and just drop a sword in front of me. I'm like, hey, thanks. Finger guns.
Yeah, it was it.
Did you push it any further than that?
No. Look, we played this game for maybe a week.
Yeah.
So
That's a great story. I don't know where you'll find it, but it's on some kind of OK-based content where Alex Van Aken admitted to like catfishing dudes to like get them to like buy stuff for him. I think I don't know if it was World of Warcraft or what, but yeah. Shout out to Van Aken.
It's also like in Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
As well, Frank plays a female character with a big rack, I think.
Yeah.
So good.
It works. Well, it worked. I think maybe people are a bit smarter. It has been 16 years.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No. 16 years.
No,
it might have been later. I might have been 15, but still 10 years at least. So anyway, MapleStory M, it plays exactly like MapleStory did way back when I played it. You're basically running around as your explorer, killing. You're basically a terror. Like the monsters you kill are so goddamn cute. It makes me feel bad almost. My character class, the class names are crazy. Like they don't just have like warrior mage. They've got. I'm playing a corsair, which is like a little gunner, like a dude with a little rifle. There's like dark knight. There's a knight
Batman
something. There's a bishop. It is really weird. They're very obscure classes, but you get upgraded at level 30, I believe. My guy's like level 16 still. I've just had it on like auto quest, which works wonders for me. It's like my second RPG that I'm playing while I'm playing my real RPG. But it actually does it in a really inefficient manner. So the auto questing really only uses basic skills to complete the quests. You can do it like there's not really a need to gear up, I don't think, until much later on. So you can actually get quite far from what I've seen with just crap gear. But you don't use like really efficient moves to clear mobs or anything. So it takes a while. If you're just doing auto quests, it's probably a bit faster to do it manually. It's okay. I don't know. It's a mobile game. I probably won't play it for too much longer, I don't think. I just want to see what my guy's like next job is. I've purposefully been trying to not find out. It's just that I looked for about 5 minutes trying to find guides on where the character classes go, and it's obscure. Like I can't find a single thing to tell me what the progression's like in any of these games. And CBF going on to YouTube looking at videos because it's wired just doesn't need that effort.
Hey guys. Sorry.
Hey guys.
Standard video game YouTube.
There'll
video.
be like one MapleStory Pro or something. That's his racket. But anyway, MapleStory M, it's free. You definitely can get in-game purchases. I haven't done so. Just auto quest, see where it gets you if you're interested in playing that game after my raving review. Or be a female. Maybe I should have done that. Maybe I should have.
I'm disappointed that you didn't.
Could have got some free gear.
Evolved. Yeah.
Hello.
Just on a side note, every female in a game that I see in like WoW, like every female avatar, I straight up immediately assume guy. I immediately assume guy. Yeah, like I know there are obviously women out there who play these games, but I think 9 times out of 10 you're looking at a guy.
Someone whose friends set up their account for them.
Yeah. Well, Pez, I think Pez, talking about Pez actually said to me once that he makes all of his character avatars women who looks like his wife. And like the real cheesy thing he says after that is, because I want to look at my wife. Like, you know, she's hot. I want to play some, like, if I'm going to watch something for hours, why not my wife? Which is really sweet and stuff. But like, yeah, there are people out there who have reasons to play female characters. So just, I don't know. Anyway, I assume.
I mean,
female.
I play female characters not because I am female, but because like appearance wise, they just look more appealing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the opposite. I think the guys like just bulking out on plate armor look pretty sick, but you know, I don't know. I've also played like 10 more minutes of Stardew Valley, Ali.
What the what? I like there's just only a few more minutes of it. So what did you do? You picked up an onion? Like
it's 100% more of the game than I've ever played. No, I want to play the co-op. And I was playing it at a time where it wasn't really appropriate to like start messaging people. It was quite early in the morning. But I think I need to play the co-op because I'm not doing it right. It's very clear to me that I'm not doing it right.
I think we've got a team of 4 then for the co-op. Because I know Brendan wants to give it a go, and then NATO's obviously on board because he thinks he's fucking Casanova of Stardew Valley. And then I'm obviously always aboard. So...
well, look, you, me, Brendan, and Casanova, we can get together. We can set up a farm. I don't mind. It's a okay. I don't know. Like I was certainly more into it when I was playing it for 10 minutes the other day, but I found that I was running out of energy really quickly, or I was running out of things to do. My first 2 quests were to like grow a tree and then to meet 42 people in the town.
You don't have to, like, that's just shit in the background. Like, your main priority is to make that fucking farm and make money, and then you buy more stuff, and then you expand, and then you like buy chickens, and then you know, so you don't have to worry about the quests. You can do them; they're in the background, but no, your focus is on that farm, man.
I had a really touching moment. I had a really touching moment with a fisherman on a wharf.
Oh, Willie.
Yeah, Willie. But also, he sent me a letter out of nowhere. He was like, it was like day 2, and I looked in my mailbox, and Willie, I hadn't even seen this guy, stranger to me, put a letter in my mailbox saying, "I've got something for you. Come to the wharf." It's at the southern end of town.
Sounds sinister.
Yeah, I was sus on him from day 1, but I still went. He gave me a fishing rod. That's pretty cool. And then I got a fish. I got a marlin.
And then you could turn a profit.
Can I? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you take that fish, put it in your your box outside, and then end of day they'll get you some money.
There you go. Anyway, all right. Well, that's Stardew Valley. Let's do co-op. Let's do that, and I'll give you my true feelings about this game. But until then, I still probably won't play it for too much on my own. It just seems boring as AF.
Yeah, it is. I can't get into it.
It really does. Like, it really doesn't seem fun or therapeutic or anything like that.
Wow.
I'm not a grindy, like all the stuff you guys are talking about, grinding and upgrading gear. Like I feel like you need that like gene in your body to enjoy Stardew as well, because it's just a grind. Yeah. Like I've played like a 30-day cycle or whatever, which I don't know if that's probably nothing in the context of this game, but I still just haven't been able to get to a point where it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
No offense to the hardcore out there, including Ally.
The person's already bought it on 2 consoles, yeah.
Only 2, huh?
To the starheads out there, all the fanatics.
Yeah.
I tell you what I want to get into in the next week is I've just got an itch to play either like Civ or some kind of Total War game. I've got a strategy game itch I need to scratch.
I've been playing Rise of Nations. Is that the one that I've been playing? Yeah, Rise of Nations.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Never played it.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
Maybe I'll play that.
You should give that Jurassic Park one a go, Saleem.
Oh, no, I've seen
Make Brendan
people
happy.
play that on Twitch. I don't want to fucking play that game. First of all, I don't know. It looks fine, but it's not the kind of game. I'm after like a war game. I want to go to war.
You want to kill things.
You know, I want to kill. Like, that Jurassic Park game is more akin to Stardew Valley to me than it is to Total War.
Sure.
Or Civ. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, I think that kind of wraps up what we've been doing for the week. Let us get into the news.
This week's news headlines.
And kicking it off today, Cyberpunk 2077.
It's a game.
Got 44 minutes of gameplay trailer. That dropped this week, which came out of nowhere. I don't know if Project Red had said anything about it beforehand. I wasn't really paying attention, but all of a sudden on Friday morning, here we go. We've got gameplay. I obviously didn't get a chance to look at it. I was too busy tending to my farm, but I know you two did.
That 10 minutes, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a long 10 minutes. What are your thoughts from what you saw, guys?
Well, the way that they actually kind of led into this announcement was that CD Projekt Red actually did one of those things that like how Fallout did, was where they just started streaming just, video of something random, where on this it looked like it was data, like,
lines of code,
yeah, lines of code. It's just going down and down and down and down. And it was like this long live stream. And then obviously then the gameplay started. So, first of all, I'm kind of getting sick of that, unless there's like awesome, cool background, like if people could actually like decode stuff, or like they can take what's being like streamed and being like, oh, I got this information from it. That's cool. But if you're gonna do something like that, just surprise us with the trailer, or just say, hey, we're about to show you a trailer in an hour. Tune in live.
Oh, you're talking about as well, like what Bethesda did with Fallout.
With the TV.
Yes.
Is that also 77?
Yeah.
No, it is
76.
Yeah.
76. Thank you. Yeah. Close. It's close.
It is.
It's close.
It's only one number off. In fact.
Very close. It's as close as you're gonna get. But in regards to the actual gameplay, the trailer, I wish I didn't watch as much as you know what? Actually, I kind of wish I didn't watch it, because it's left a bad taste in my mouth. The gameplay that I saw didn't look as polished as I thought it was going to be. There was a lot of moments where I'm like, okay, so this element, like the background setting, looks really, like, I guess the best way to say is realistic. But then, like, as she's reloading her gun, it looked very animated and cartoony. So it kind of took me out of it again. And I felt like I was constantly being like zoomed in and out, kind of like when I played Yakuza, and like how like the gameplay looked very cartoony, but then there were elements where the movie sequence was very realistic, and it throws you out of it. I think it makes the lesser more prominent when you have really, really good and then you have shitty graphics, and then I think it just makes you reflect. So I kind of wish I didn't watch it. There were tits on screen, tits on Twitch. So
I thought that would have been right up your alley.
Tits on Twitch, yeah. Well, no, I obviously paid attention to that. That was the whole joke, is that why was CD Projekt Red allowed to have it? Because it's against the terms of services, I'm pretty certain. So that was a spectacle, and people didn't like the swearing. Everyone had a problem with the swearing.
Right.
Who's everyone?
I don't know. I feel like that was one of the main things that like people were bitching about on my Twitter feed. Yeah.
Right.
They were like, oh, what's with all the swearing? The swearing was so off-putting. I'm like, actually, the voice acting seemed very off-putting, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jono, what were your thoughts, mate, from what you've seen?
I skimmed through parts of it. I probably watched 15 minutes total, but I just didn't want to go in. Like, I like to know that a game is good and then not know everything about it. So I know it's very far away and that this game probably wasn't going to spoil much, but I just didn't feel like watching the whole 44 minutes. So I thought it looks, as we expected it to. When you've got voiceovers and you've got all this kind of thing, it takes away a little bit of the experience of knowing what it's going to feel like to play through the game, because you don't really know, like, this has been put together for the purpose of showing the game off, rather than just here's a chunk of actual 44 straight minutes of gameplay. But from what I did see, it's been cool just to, I guess, see what everyone saw at E3. I was surprised that they didn't leak this, or not leak, but release this at Gamescom publicly, because I knew that that's happened in the past, where stuff that's been shown off at E3 has then come out around that time, and I guess it's only a week later, so it makes sense. It wasn't in that sense a complete shock that we got to see it now. But yeah, I mean, it looks really good. I'm surprised, like Ali said, that the writing, like that's something I've seen criticized a lot on Twitter and social media, is the dialogue, particularly from like the Latino character. I'm surprised with all the praise that this got at E3 that maybe I just missed it, but I don't remember any of the media mentioning that side of it. And then it was like an immediate, there's problems with this when it hit the public. So I don't know, maybe it was just the hype that people got bought into, or I think Max Scoville from IGN pointed out that, yeah, it is a gritty game, but it's also like kind of meant to be 80s cheesy kind of as well. So I don't know if that's an excuse for like bad writing, or if it's just, yeah. What do you guys think?
I'm not getting that full vibe though. It's like if you're going to go on that angle, then give it to me consistently. Don't be like, oh yeah, we threw it here and there kind of thing like that. It's like if you're going for 80 cheese, then go full 80 cheese.
Yeah. I might be misquoting him. He might not have said 80s cheese, but it was along those lines of that. Yeah. This is the tone that they're going for, not just that it's bad. And you wouldn't expect CD Projekt Red to drop the ball with that, given The Witcher was so good. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Saleem? Even though you haven't seen it.
What? No, like I haven't. So this isn't really commenting on the Ali thought that was the funniest thing ever, by the way, that throw to.
I'm loving Jono's sass this episode. It's so good.
No, so look, all right, yeah, obviously I'm not going to be able to comment too much on the actual gameplay video itself, but from what I understand of it, it's only to show off certain features of the game to date, particularly like, it's showing the progression system.
Yeah, the upgrades.
It was also meant to show, that there was a little bit around how moves look in a boss battle, and I think as well it's about exploration as well. On your comments about like writing, I think you can write for whatever whatever world you're trying to create. So if they're not quite delivering, then that's a writing issue. Like it's not that it's impossible to pull off 80s sci-fi. The problem with, I think, 80s sci-fi is that it's almost comical now. To go back to that world, like Kung Fury. If you think about like Kung Fury, that's kind of what 80s sci-fi is for me at the moment.
Blood Dragon, the Far Cry DLC was like that too.
Yeah, it's like super sensationalized. It's not really a setting that's kind of appropriate for dramatic storytelling. But at the same time, I don't know that this game is trying to do that either. But I don't know. It's very early days. There's not even a release date yet, right?
No.
So maybe just like take it with a
Yeah, it's early days.
So like exactly, things will change.
And they'll listen as well. They'll pay attention to the criticisms, and I'm sure that they'll address them. That's kind of like, I know this game is being designed the way that it's being designed, but I'm still kind of holding out for an optional third-person view, because that's more the way that I like to play games.
I was going to say, they seem to be holding steady on the first-person perspective. So,
well, I've very much been in the camp that this is a studio that we need to trust 100% and like just wait for what they're going to give us before we complain. Like so many people have jumped on that level of criticism since E3, but at the same time, as much as I respect whatever their vision is, I just kind of would like the option. I just want the option. Like, it's not going to... I don't know. I don't feel like it's going to break the game to have the option in there. Like it is in Fallout and like it is in Star Wars Battlefront. Like, you can make it so that there's no advantage to third person. Like, they don't have to make the controls work differently. They can steer you towards first person. But I just think... Especially, I've read about people who literally can't play first-person shooters because they get motion sickness and that kind of thing. So, I don't know. I just feel like throw in a tacky option for third-person and keep everyone happy. Especially since you spend so much time creating the visual look of your character to only see them in cutscenes.
Yeah. I wonder what the challenges are to actually include a third-person...
I imagine it's like a cover system for combat, and they probably don't want to have an inferior version of that, but yeah.
Moving along here, we Like this next one makes me smile a little bit. Ubisoft won't be releasing another Assassin's Creed game in 2019. They're taking a break, which is very unlike them.
Yes. So this is I'll take this because I added it to the list, but I think I read in this story that we had the break for Origins. Obviously, they took 2 years for that, and I was pretty disappointed to see that they were coming back so soon with what's this new one called? Odyssey. But then I realized, okay, there's 2 different studios working on it, and they were both built over a couple of years, but it's still showing like less than what they would have got working together on those games if they spaced them out a bit more. So I'm glad they're taking time off again. I think what they came back with Origins was really impressive as a game that they spent some more time on, and I really hope that the difference between Syndicate and Origins, I don't think we'll see that with the difference between Origins and Odyssey, but I'm really hoping we see that again between Odyssey and the one that comes after that. I think that games this big, I know that they'll sell probably regardless, but for people who aren't like, I buy them every single year, you're going to get a lot more attention if you space them out, take some time, actually change things up and make it something that people don't know exactly what they're going to get, like you so often do when you've played like a run of 3 in a row.
Yeah, it's certainly a franchise that's been plagued by criticism that the games are so inconsistent, particularly I want to say maybe the first 5, right up into Syndicate. Syndicate was the 5th, right? That was the one after Black Flag.
Well, there was others in between there. They just weren't numbered. Like you had Rogue and you had something else that, see, I don't even know. They had one that came out on current gen and next gen at the same time. That was kind of like the dark period where things dropped off after 4, which was great. I love Black Flag, but
Black Flag's is it correct to kind of assume that Black Flag's the really pinnacle of the series?
I think it is, but most people would say 2 because it was the first one that like nailed it. I think the first one was a sign of a cool engine and a cool concept for a game, and then the 2 was like, okay, now we've got the extra systems and the story that works and blah 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 blah. I think Black Flag was the first one since 2 to kind of take it into a next step and add all that extra naval combat and stuff. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
exactly right.
For me, it's like the pinnacle in terms of if I was going to go back and play another one that I've already played, it'd be Black Flag. It wouldn't be 2, but that's me. Yeah.
Ali, you were an Assassin's Creed poison?
No, unfortunately, it really did lose me. I absolutely loved 2, and I didn't mind Black Flag, but I never finished it. And then I think I dabbled in one of the more recent ones, but and I know I'm going to get hit for this, but it feels unoriginal. I feel like I'm playing the same kind of thing, just with different elements kind of thing. Yeah. And I guess in my mind, I go like, I could probably just play something else. I'm not really interested.
Yeah.
And I think this might be very story driven as well. Like that's the element that is meant to catch you, I guess, is that the environment and stuff, but it just doesn't captivate me much. So yeah, I'm not really on the Assassin's Creed wagon anymore.
I think it's like it's such a big factor of the world that they've created, and like the pirate world, and then Egypt. I think like being able to explore those places is a huge draw, and mixing it up with some of the ones they've had in between that haven't probably been as exotic and as interesting have probably hurt that in some ways. And the difference between Egypt and Greece probably isn't big enough for me to want to go back and play. I know that they're obviously separate continents, but I don't know. I just feel like the time period isn't as The
technology's probably around the same.
Probably.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah. And it's so close. Like, I know that some of the stuff that they implemented, like the mechanics that they've added to Origins, are going to be there in Odyssey. It's just so close. Like, some people are only just getting around to probably playing Origins now. because it came out the same day, I think, as like Wolfenstein and Stick of Truth was around. Not Stick of Truth, the South Park Fractured But Whole was around the same time. Mario Odyssey was around the same time. So,
but coming into that, I remember that a lot of people actually said that they felt bad because they actually felt it was a good game, and it kind of got a bit overshadowed. So,
yeah,
who knows? These Assassin's Creed games are always weird to pick.
I don't care for them. I don't think I'll ever buy another one, to be honest with you. I got Black Flag. I got Black Flag, and I really enjoyed that one. But I didn't really enjoy the first one when I played it way back when on the old original Xbox. And the criticism and the commentary around the franchise since hasn't, it just, you can't trust Ubisoft to sort of deliver good games is basically what I read. So at least for this series, there just seems, I don't know, inconsistent. Like you're saying, Jono, they don't seem far enough apart that you get a new experience.
Yeah.
And people, like, I don't know, from what I hear, people love 4. So 4's the best, and I've played 4, then I'm like, all right, well, I'll let it go.
Yeah, just try to name like every one that's come out and see how far you get if you think that they haven't done too many of these games.
They've done a lot. Like there was a period where they were launching a new one every single year.
Yeah.
Like year on year on year.
And there's the handheld versions and card games and
There's obviously a market
Milking
for
it.
But
Milking it.
It's a huge franchise, yeah. They're big enough to make a movie out of it, but
also underperformed. Yeah. So Xbox All Access, codename Project Largo, because everything's got a codename these days. This was announced, I believe, earlier this week. Microsoft have announced that they want to release Xbox All Access. We were looking before the show, Ali and I think we worked out that it's only going to be in North America so far, with plans to potentially release it more broadly. What All Access is a subscription service which bundles together the Xbox Live Gold, Xbox Game Pass, and an actual Xbox as well. In case you don't already have one, you can get the Xbox One X for $35 per month US, or the One S for $22 per month. And it's a plan. It's interesting. I get suspicious about subscription-based hardware.
Yeah. Like with this one at first I was kind of a bit dismissive about it because I am like a person that just goes all out and buys. But then it kind of got brought to my attention that there are a lot of people out there that like obviously like financially they don't have that benefit, but then they've also said that like straight up there's no upfront cost, and then after the 24-month subscription period they I think they actually get to keep the hardware, the Xbox One. So it's not like they'll be taken away from them. But I just don't know what happens when like you forget to pay a month. Like,
well, what happens when you cancel is the thing.
Well, yeah, and then you got to hand it back. So then they have all these like second-hand consoles.
Yeah, well, but they would send it out to the next person, the next subscriber, right?
No, they would not be giving out second-hand consoles, would
they? What are you talking about? Well, you're subscribing. You don't own it. You're subscribing to it. So I can't see why they wouldn't. What happens when they get damaged, though? Is it like a locked-in contract? Is it like your phone
Maybe
contract?
that's it then. Then if you don't pay, then you get the creditors on your list. I don't know. I just worry with subscription services and like the youth.
And the youth.
The youth. Just because, yeah. But I don't know. I can see the benefits of it, but I obviously wouldn't do it.
Well, a bit of quick math. $35 a month over 24 months is $840 US.
Wow.
Which is a lot to be spending
for US, yeah, actually.
Which is a lot to be spending on an Xbox One X.
It's more than double, probably, the original cost.
Yeah. And also, I would wager that after, by the time we get to the 24-month period, they've probably already announced their next hardware.
But then I guess you cancel then.
Yeah.
But what's the benefit of just keeping it after 24 months? Apparently you've paid double for an Xbox One X that is about to be discontinued probably in the following 24 months.
Plus the Xbox Live and Game Pass. You've also paid for that.
Yeah, you do get that. That's true. You do get those added bonuses, which, are good value. Not maybe necessarily for that price, but for what they are. Game Pass in particular, I think, has proven itself to be really good value for gamers.
Actually, yeah. So there you go. There's the affordability in there, where if someone is very tight on money, then with Xbox Live and Game Pass, they wouldn't be so restricted in game, or having to go out and buy games, because that comes with it, right? So
yeah, but I don't know what the actual, if you did it all outright, I don't know what the cost would be, but I'm guessing it'd be substantially lower. What's Game Pass a month?
As someone that has unfortunately subscribed to it and hasn't unsubscribed to it, but haven't looked into the bank details, I can't even freaking tell you. I think it was $5, was it?
I think it's $5 US.
I'm really bad.
It's probably
$5 a month.
I think it's $8 Australian, probably.
So it's $120 US for the full 24-month period for Game Pass. So that's, yeah. All right. So anyway, this is coming. This is being trialed in North America. So if you're listening and you're in North America and you don't have an Xbox already, you may want to consider this. Certainly check out the T's and the C's, I think, because we're already theorizing potential problems here.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
I
just buy a PS4.
Anyone do this?
There it is.
Yeah.
I was waiting for
just
it.
buy a PlayStation. Come on.
You blindsided me with that one, Jono. I thought we were both just kind of buyer beware, but you're just
a
Sony
just buy a
advocate.
PlayStation.
Fucking Sony's already out saying we are the superior console.
Oh,
Hey.
well, yeah.
They're not wrong.
We'll touch on this one.
Have you had? Well, actually, I don't even put a PC amongst them.
Yeah, I don't know. This renting never is a good option to me when you can buy. So just buy.
Be a
obviously in the
homeowner.
Sydney property market. Yeah, be a homeowner. Yeah, I'm actually interested to see how they get around problems with the hardware. It just seems like such a clunky thing to be doing, to be shipping out Xboxes all over to subscribers. How do you get them back?
Stolen?
There would be maybe there's something on there, some kind of software that locks the machine if you haven't paid your subscription. That's probably the only way they get around it. That's all I
mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
just the brutality of that just makes me cringe. Oof.
What? Otherwise, what are you going to do? You're going to send
I
a
don't know.
sheriff around to collect the Xbox after 6
God, I
months of
hope
no
so.
payment? No,
I'm
that doesn't work.
I'm here for your Xbox.
Jono, this is
sheriff duties. Sorry.
That's right. This is one for Jono. Shovel Knight. The final DLC comes in April 2019. What do we know about it so far?
It's been announced for a while, and it's the first two DLCs were not extending the story, but new stories in the same levels, basically, with Plague Knight, Spectre Knight, which was really good, and that was more than a year ago now. And now we're getting one with King Knight. So these are all free DLCs that have come from them hitting their Kickstarter goals, stretch goals, which is an awesome thing to release all this stuff for free, because it's worth paying for, in my opinion. But the fact that this is coming out in April makes it 2 years after the previous DLC. So I guess the interesting thing to me is, does that mean that they've been working on the full sequel simultaneously? I don't really understand why this one has taken that long, because the original Shovel Knight, from the founding of Yacht Club Studios to releasing it, was only 3 years. So yeah, it just makes me wonder, are they working hard on the second game at the same time as this DLC, and that's why the DLC is taking longer? But yeah, either way, I'm excited to play it, and for whatever they do after Shovel Knight's wrapped up for good.
Do you reckon they're going to do a double drop in the fact that they'll drop the DLC and then announce the next one? Or?
That would be cool, yeah. And I really hope it's like a SNES-style Shovel Knight to kind of take it to that next level. That would be rad.
Yeah. Can I just say as well, really clever content. I remember playing the Plague Knight DLC. It's so fun, and it's such a different experience compared to the original game itself. I love this game, though.
Yeah, I feel like people have dropped off and kind of slept on the Spectre Knight DLC, because that was legit almost as
I
good
haven't
as the
played it.
original. Like it's much
Really?
better than Plague Knight. They added
Really?
a lot. Yeah, definitely. Like the platforming is heaps more interesting with Spectre Knight because he's got a few extra moves that you can do in like dashes and that kind of thing. So yeah, if you have it on like Switch or Vita or whatever, it's like such an awesome game to play on a handheld. So if you enjoyed Plague Knight, I definitely think you should give that a go. Next plane trip.
I'm gonna give it I've got it on PlayStation. I'm certainly gonna give it a crack.
Do it.
Yeah, I love this game, dude. I didn't think I'd enjoy it anywhere near as much as I did. I don't even know why I bought it. I forget why I even got it in the first place. It doesn't look like a game that would typically appeal to me.
Yeah, it's kind of the game that got me back into platforming, really. Like, there's been a few great ones along, like, this current generation, Guacamelee, and a couple of other ones like that. But, yeah, like, this one made me go back and play all these Mega Man games that I've been getting into and stuff like that. So, shout out to Shovel Knight.
I have to play it.
Yeah, do it.
Shout out to Super Yacht. Yeah.
Yeah, Yacht Club.
Yacht Club. Is it Yacht Club?
Yeah, it's Yacht
And I'm
Club.
thinking of Super Giant as well. I don't know why I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Super Giant.
Who knows?
I'll come back to that. Yeah, I'll figure that. I'll figure
they
out
make
that
Bastion?
little cache miss. Yeah, they made Bastion. They
Yeah.
did Transistor and Pyre.
Pyre. Love Pyre.
Yeah.
Yep. So good.
Yeah, I haven't played Pyre. I've played the other two.
Pyre's
I love the other
fantastic,
two.
yeah. Pyre might be the best of the three.
Far out. I was going to say something else there. Really? Shut
Yeah,
the
Pyre is
front
awesome.
door. Really?
It's
PGing
definitely
you.
better than Transistor. It's
Really?
Oh yeah, I wasn't the hugest fan of Transistor. I love
I
Bastion.
love
but
Transistor.
yeah, Pyre is such a special game. I think it's so different from those. There's a lot more text and reading, but the music's so good. The gameplay is so satisfying. It's such a there's no game like Pyre. It's such a weird fusion of different like styles and genres.
Add it to my list.
Good though. They're all.
They
good.
are,
Like,
but
the
I think
music and all
Pyre-
the- I listen
yeah.
to the soundtrack for Transistor regularly.
It's great. Yeah, that's probably the best
Yeah.
thing about that game. But
Yeah, I like the combat. I'm a fan of the combat. I like that you can customize it and change your approach
yeah,
really drastically depending on what your combination of like little chips is. Anyway, all right, moving forward. Pokemon Essentials. You may have seen this during the week. Pokemon Essentials has officially been shut down due to copyright violations by Nintendo America. I'm not sure why I wrote Australia there. Nintendo America did the dirty work here. So if you're not familiar with what Pokemon Essentials was, it was basically a toolkit to let you modify Pokemon game ROMs to basically create your own Pokemon game or your own version of the Pokemon experience, using any of the Game Boy Advance ROMs, and I guess as well the later Nintendo DS ROMs as well. I actually did use this many moons ago to modify a Pokemon Red ROM.
what did you mod
What did
into
you modify it? Yeah.
Well, I just played around with the tile sets. I played around with the tile sets, and then I also put Pokemon in weird places where they definitely shouldn't be, like legendary Pokemon in like Route 2 leading from Pallet Town to Viridian City.
Oh, so
just
you
like
cheated. Yeah,
well, I was
okay.
just mind you, hold on. By this point in life, I'd played the game through like 1,000 times. Like I wasn't trying to get past Gary at like, you know,
Wait, so can you
Nugget Bridge or whatever.
Can you put Mewtwo or whatever at the start?
Yeah.
At like a level.
Oh, yeah.
At like a level 5.
A
and
level
then-
one. A level one. You can make him
Yeah.
an encounter Pokemon that you just keep running into.
Does he have moves that work at that level, or is it just tackle until he reaches like level 50 or something?
Oh, now you're testing my memory. I'm not sure if you can actually change the moves or if they just get what they probably should have scaled back. But
Yeah.
but the idea is that you have basically complete control over the ROM. It's like the game itself to create your own experience. I don't know too much about how much. Well, actually, no. Like some very successful ROMs were created using Pokemon Essentials. One of them was Pokemon Uranium, which might be one of the most popular Pokemon mods ever. Pokemon Rocket was another one. So you can obviously do create events and triggers in the game using Pokemon Essentials. It was like, you know, it had a whole community around it. There are a lot of people who are really into creating their own Pokemon games. It certainly kept like Pokemon I guess, relevant to later generations, while people were waiting for the next 100 odd looking creatures to come out. But this is kind of what Nintendo does, though. They're pretty defensive of their IP, which they do have every right to be. And
they got us.
Got this thing.
They
even got 8-bit.
they got me too. I had a sweet SNES style putting in work T-shirt that there's only 2 or 3 of in existence because of the old takedown copyright whatever. Yeah.
They are pretty aggressive, aren't they? They get everything, but it took them years. This was around for I don't know. It probably says in somewhere online, but maybe 8 to 10 years. But now it's gone, so no more Pokemon Essentials for anyone.
Wait, doesn't it just live on people's hard drives though? It's not an online.
It would, but it's not being shared. There was one page in particular where a community was redistributing later versions and tools that were later do different things. They've since stopped doing that. I'll get the actual website now, actually, that'd be handy. But anyway, it does live on in people's hard drives, and of course, just even though cool ROMs is now no longer a thing, there are obviously still ROM websites where you can download ROMs. So the internet being the internet, you can do it. But it's the major distribution of these softwares that is kind of being that Nintendo are really sort of stamping on here.
No, fair enough. I just love that the ROMs are still okay though.
They're not ROMs.
Okay, I say, and
the ROMs are so Nintendo. I think we said we had the story on here 2 or 3 months ago about how they were taking down cool ROMs and another major ROM site. Which are responsible for distributing, millions and millions and millions of ROMs in their lifetime. So they're going for the heads of these problems. It's hard to actually, police it down to the individual user level. But if you can at least stop the distribution of it, then you that's a significant part of the fight won. And that's what they're doing. So, it's well within their rights to do it. I probably
obviously
would be pretty cranky if someone was pinching my IP, but I don't know. I couldn't find anywhere any sort of money associated with this tool.
Just the ads, right?
Well, is it even ads? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it was just a fan tool. If it's a fan tool, that kind of makes it a bit irky, but I don't know. Anyway,
if they were making money from it, it would have been shut down a long time ago.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Fair enough.
On to our final story for the day, and certainly the one I think I've been looking forward to the most, because it's another fantastic episode of the internet losing its mind. Hashtag Puddlegate. I love that it's got gate at the end of it. Everything's a gate.
Yeah. If it doesn't have a gate at it, it's not a real controversy.
Yeah.
It can't be. It has to. Who comes up with this stuff, by the way? Whoever's the first person to coin the term, they must feel so proud, so special.
It's not hard.
No, you take the keyword and throw gate at the end of it.
Yeah.
Puddlegate. Puddlegate is a controversy that is surrounding the upcoming release of Spider-Man on PlayStation. Jono, this is one of yours. I'll let you do the dirty work here.
You've prepared a bit of a spiel. You didn't want to read it out?
My spiel isn't actually correct. Factually.
Okay.
I got bored and I thought I'd just kind of embellish a lot. So there's a bit of a story in there.
I was watching the Google Doc as it was going up, and it was fairly entertaining. But essentially, it was about a month ago by now. This has taken a while to really come to where it's at now. But a side-by-side comparison was published online of a key scene that we've seen in Spider-Man demos, where he's in some construction site, and basically the original E3 demo has a large puddle. This sounds so stupid. Has a large puddle across the ground, and this second one has a smaller puddle. The more recent footage or screenshot we've seen, and the light is also in a different position, which has changed obviously the lighting effects across the whole scene. And people have been talking about it as a graphical downgrade of the game.
since E3.
Since E3, yeah, which does happen. But Insomniac has said that it's not a downgrade, it's just a smaller puddle. That was the final word that I heard about it originally, but somehow it's kicked up since then of people, maybe they're just going into a little bit too much detail. To be honest, I've mostly just seen the response to the criticism. I haven't seen much of the criticism itself because maybe I just don't want to go down that path because it's ridiculous. But yeah, when I first saw it, I just thought, the light has moved, therefore the shadows are slightly different, the reflections are slightly different, and that is enough to make, to some people, like there's less contrast or something, I guess. But
yeah, they're
just running with it and saying, we're going to boycott this game. It's not what you've pitched to us. I'm cancelling my pre-order.
Yeah.
And I think that's so ridiculous because even if they have downgraded the game, it's to me, it's for a reason. It's so that the game can run better and it's still going to be an awesome experience. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot if you refuse to buy it because of something so lame.
Yeah, I personally haven't, like you, I haven't actually seen people making the claims and, making these kind of stupid statements. I've seen more the reaction to people to this actual controversy. This sounds like something that would only get started on Reddit for a bunch of bored people.
Well,
yeah, I love that people want to attack. What, Sam?
No, you're right. Yeah, it's started on Reddit for a bunch of poor people.
You sounded like you were going to do the whole defense thing that you like to do whenever we have these stories.
No.
Well, hang on. Let's think about it from the other point.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm itching to go here because I went right down the rabbit hole of this one.
Oh no, then please go for it.
It was glorious.
Go for it. I want to hear about it.
I don't have a particular. I do have I guess a perspective on this after having gone down the rabbit hole, but I was going through the whole thing just not trying to swing one way or the other, just to see where people are really. So I just want to start by saying, look, the side-by-side comparison of that particular scene is the same shot taken. One's at E3, one's at a much more recent trailer. It does look shabbier. Undeniably, it looks shabbier. I'm not saying there's been a downgrade. There has definitely been a change in lighting. The puddle, because if you look at what was shown at E3, the puddle has reflections of city buildings in the distance and lights, and it actually does add to the scene. It actually looks really cool. But they've changed that. Not saying it's a downgrade, just saying they have changed it. I think after the change, it kind of looks a little worse. But that's what has sparked the whole thing. So what people did was they started finding other scenes from previous trailers that were shown in later trailers to see if the same is true across all of the scenes that we have available to us. And amidst all of the harping on and craziness, what's actually come out is that the game in certain scenes actually looks a lot better. They've done a lot to the game since. They've added little assets here and there. There's one of him just rolling across a street, and you see it's like a T intersection. You can kind of see the sort of Z-axis of a street going down into the distance, and you can see the addition of signs and lighting and stuff in the more recent version of it. So it adds to it. It looks better. It's just in this one particular comparison, it doesn't look great. So the lighting's changed, and that's all really Insomniac have said, is that they've changed the lighting and they've made the puddle smaller.
Which I thought was obvious. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, the light's coming from a different direction.
Yeah, but it looks... and I wonder if this was kind of done on purpose. It looks grainier almost. The colours look, I'll say, what's the word I'm looking for here? It just looks kind of dull. It doesn't look as sharp.
But we're looking at screenshot there. We're looking at a screenshot.
You are.
We don't know if it's they're both taken from the same res or anything. One of them could be from a YouTube screenshot, and the other one could be from an E3 demo that's sent to press or something.
I'm just imagining the poor person that actually that's it came up on their worksheet, their run sheet, oh, we need you to fix up this puddle from this thing kind of thing. So they did, and then this happens, and they're probably like, are you fucking serious? I want to know, that's what you're focusing on.
I want to know what the conversation was like at Insomniac when all this started, with bring in lead design, blah blah blah. Barry, what's this about? Did we downgrade? No sir, in this one scene, we changed the lighting source from east to west, and we just thought it would look a bit better without the puddle. So what the fuck is Twitter on about there? Well, I don't know. So all we did was move a puddle.
Here's the thing though, like you only have
Let's get in front of this.
You only have to look at actual footage from this game to see that it looks spectacular. And I don't know how you can see.
Amazing.
You only have to, like, I don't know how you can see that footage and go, "This game isn't what they like sold us or tried to sell us." You know, like it's and it, like Brian Altano from IGN had an awesome tweet that was a like side by side picture of a Big Mac on the sign, and then the Big Mac that they actually give you at McDonald's, and how different they look. But it's still a Big Mac. Like, you're not disappointed. It still tastes good. It doesn't look as good.
Yeah.
But like, you don't say, "Hey, these fries aren't as perfectly placed as they are in the ad, so I don't want them anymore." Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
No,
It's just the culture.
It does. But you know what it is, though, Jono? I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a moment. I think it's that people. No. I think the reason people get upset, one of it's hysteria, obviously, but the other side of it is that people feel like they've been cheated because
The game hasn't come out yet.
I know, but just hear me out. People think that they get sold on an idea and a concept years in advance at E3, on something that does look genuinely spectacular. And then they're shown something that disagrees with that, and you know, contrast to that the game might not necessarily be 100% of what it was. Echoes of No Man's Sky, echoes of other games with graphical. It's the game of the year, goddammit. But anyway, the point is, like, people feel cheated, and you can understand that feeling.
That's naive, though. I think you have to bake
valid.
it into your expectations that whatever you're seeing at E3, it's probably running on like not even a PlayStation. It's probably running on a PC or something. I don't know.
Damn right it is.
Like,
People don't. Yeah, people don't temper their expectations that way, though. You know, and it's so easy to get caught up. You know, like in Reddit and in Twitter, it's so easy to get swept. I love this shit, dude. Like I was like eating this up as I was reading through it. I know. I don't care. Personally, for me, I don't care what the graphics look. I play WoW, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like I'm not living on the cutting edge.
Yeah. I hope these people
So-
boycott it and just miss out on an awesome game, and then they like have to buy it with their tail between their legs, because people are going to be like, there's a photo mode in this game, and we are going to see some of the most amazing images coming out of this game.
Definitely.
Like Spider-Man swinging, amazing like reflections on the skyscrapers and all that kind of thing, and people are just going to go, "Oh, I guess it looks pretty good."
Dude, give me Spider-Man 2 on PlayStation 2 any day. Like, that game felt amazing. You know, like there's something really cool about just being Spidey slinging through New York.
Yeah,
it feels great.
If it was just a current gen upgrade of Spider-Man 2, people would still be stoked.
Fucking all over it, man. I'd be all over it. So anyway, look, if people boycott it, I think they're probably doing themselves a disservice. It looks like such a great game. But anyway, for more on that, you know, just Google #Puddlegate. It's fun. Like, just as an exercise, it's fun. I don't really know if there's much more we can really go into on this one. That's it for the news this week. I think that's plenty. One other little thing just thrown at the end there. Streets of Rage 4 got announced this week.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming? I know. Amazing. It's being put together by a developer in France. So anyway, there was a trailer that dropped for that. Feel free to Google that if you're a beat 'em up kind of player. I don't know if there's many left anymore. Anyway, that's the news. One other thing, actually, Ali, you threw this in right at the end here. Destiny 2 is also free on PS4. Oh, sorry, Jono threw this in right at the end here.
Read the comment.
My bad. I saw Destiny.
I definitely did not put this in there.
I saw Destiny 2 and I just assumed you, Ali. My bad.
I appreciate that. But yeah, read the rest of it and you'll see why.
I will read the comment. Jono, you posed the question. Did it sell that bad, or are they trying to get more people onto the DLC?
Yeah, I'm not a big Destiny guy, so I'm not sure where this has come from, why they've chosen to not just release it free on PS Plus, but like a week early they released it on for free. So I don't know, usually that says that there's an idea, a concept, a strategy behind it, and I'm interested because usually when I come on this podcast, there's someone talking about Destiny. So, Ali,
Usually me.
Recently.
Hey,
yeah.
Sam's got your WoW covered. I've got your Destiny covered. So pretty much with Forsaken that's coming out very, very soon, you're essentially dropping the same amount for a brand new game.
Right.
But what comes with that is that you will need the previous content that usually goes with it. So what they have is a Forsaken Legacy Edition where it'll give you all the previous content. So I guess they kind of know if to get anyone on board with Forsaken, which is already a big purchase themselves, that asking them to actually buy Destiny 2 is probably a little too much. So give that for free, get them to buy the Legacy Edition, and then that way they can still get more people on.
Sure. So you think this is a smart
there you
move?
It's a move.
Yeah. It's funny because I think even like I downloaded this and I'm going to play it. I think because I've got probably another couple of hours in the night in the woods, and then I'm going to jump in for a bit of Destiny before Spider-Man hits. But I'll probably be playing by myself. You know.
Well, hold on. No, Jono.
Yes.
Let me pull up a chair next to you there, my friend, and pick up the sticks, because I actually also have Destiny 2 on PlayStation already, and I feel like I've wronged you. With The Last of Us. So, mate, pick a time, pick a date. Okay. I'll put down World of Warcraft. I'll pick up Destiny 2 just for you, my friend.
God.
I almost want to see this recorded, like this gameplay between you two. I don't know why. I just think it'd be hilarious.
Maybe I'll stream it.
Maybe.
Through PlayStation, yeah. Those are the best Twitch streams on PlayStation.
I've never touched this game, so I'll be
really?
Yeah.
You'll actually, I think you might enjoy it. It is a good game.
Give me a few hours to learn how to play, and then we'll get into it. But yeah, I mean, I think that like the fact that this is releasing on PS Plus is probably PlayStation trying to pick up the standard for that service. It's a AAA game. I think it's pretty cool to see a game that big going for free. Yeah. And the icon for it already is the Forsaken. I think it's got the Forsaken text on the like logo already, so they are heavily pimping that.
Oh yeah.
Well, stay tuned for the next time Jono and I are on the podcast together. We'll tell you more about our adventures through Mars, going up against the Forsaken. That is it, I think, for the news officially. So let's look at the iTunes review of the week.
iTunes review of the week.
Glad I don't know NATO part 2.
There's actually a part 3 of that, which
no.
I thought it would be too much to bring it on. But power to I wish I didn't know NATO for changing your review from a 1-star to a 5-star. We do appreciate that. It's actually
this is
funny
a saga.
It's been a funny saga.
Yeah, they're actually calling NATO out again on something Dummy said about. He basically said
shocking.
He tried doing some division when he was defending himself on the podcast. He was saying, "You said the podcast is 5 stars and NATO 1 star. Well, do the math, 2.5 stars."
He said 3.5 the first time, I think.
3.5, I don't know. So basically that person's come back to strike at him once again.
I think I'm starting to like that person a bit more than NATO now. So
I'm starting to wonder if it's you, Ally. Like, I'm trying to figure out who
this is
this
me in the
person
background.
is.
No, I wouldn't give myself 1 star.
5 stars. You gave the podcast 5. You gave NATO 1. I don't know who this is, but anyway, this isn't the review that we're reading out this week. This review that I'm reading out this week comes from JDP Cart 18. The review is titled 3 Aussie Gamers, 1 Hungry Podcast, 5 stars. There are many gaming podcasts out there, but the Hungry Gamers most certainly have their own spin and opinions on the most current games and news. I'm not sure if that's a backhanded compliment. Brendan, Ally, and Saleem have a wide variety of tastes in gaming, and the collaboration between the 3 of them works really well. Also, now that I know NATO, I wish I hadn't. In brackets, nah, just kidding, he's alright. Check these guys out. It's definitely worth a listen.
That's an awesome review.
It is, but I'm wondering if they've actually ever listened to an episode. We talk about, like we just said, Destiny WoW all the time. Well, we do have opinions, that's for sure.
Oh, and how? The opinions are there.
And how. No, thank you so much, JDP Card 18, for that wonderful review. Jono, of course, you don't get a mention, but deep down, we all love you. We consider you part of the family here. Your opinions are valid.
Hopefully.
And I think you bring a little bit of authenticity and legitimacy to this podcast that we frankly lack.
Well, hopefully I can make it
true.
into an iTunes review one day in a more glowing manner than NATO has.
It's not going to be hard. Not going to be hard.
That's a low bar, mate. You could step over that one. Now, thank you very much again for the review. And if you would like to leave us a review, you can do so. Just go onto iTunes and drop your comments there and your star rating. It is certainly, we say this every week, but for good reason. It's always refreshing to hear that people are in fact listening. It's great to see what people think of the podcast as well. We certainly don't do it because we like each other. We do it because we like the process, and getting some kind of validation for that's good. Ali and I see eye to eye. Brenton and I occasionally we don't see eye to eye, which is why we haven't been on a podcast together for a while. That's why I ghosted last week. I was really upset with Brendan because he. I don't know. I have nowhere to go with this. Brendan's lovely. He doesn't ever do anything wrong.
Thanks for showing up this week.
You're welcome. Yeah, I kind of had to.
Just the final fucking blow at the end of the podcast from Jono. Keep him in line,
Just
Johnny.
joking, Brendan. We love you. But do leave us a review. You can check out more of the podcasts as well that are within the 8-Bit family by going to that hashtag I mentioned at the top of the show, hashtag 8-Bit Collective. You will see fantastic podcasts like Putting in Work, which last week had Jennifer Hazel, who is a doctor, Dr. Jennifer Hazel, from who's the founder of Checkpoint and does fantastic work with gamers about raising around mental health awareness. There was some interesting commentary, Jono, this week around the need for actual real-world support networks and support groups, which I think isn't something we really talk about a lot. We tend to focus in on the idea that gaming is a very social activity because we deal with a lot of people. We're just dealing with them online. I actually really like to see that sort of comment be made, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Yeah. Who do you have on this week?
Well, I usually don't promote it, but this is the Hungry Gamers, so I'm going to give you some bonus content right here.
Hey.
And
Hot scoop.
drop that Matt O'Kine will be joining the podcast, former Triple J breakfast presenter, comedian, star of The Other Guy on Stan and Hulu.
Yeah.
US. So
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's a great conversation. Still editing that one, but it will be out Thursday morning in Australia.
He's awesome. I saw him live at
great,
a
yeah.
comedy store called Happy Endings. He's hilarious, man. He's so funny. I cannot wait
he's
to
awesome.
to catch that.
Also, I've been hosting It Is What It Is while Jack's away, so bringing some of my old journalism mates in for that.
Cool. So go check out hashtag 8-Bit Collective. Check out Put in Work for that conversation with Matt O'Kine. And of course, Dr. Jennifer Hazel and the back catalogue of stars that Jono seems to keep rolling in. I don't know how you're paying these people, mate, but fantastic. And also be sure to check out Audio Technica. We're actually all wearing our Audio Technica jumpers at the moment.
Yeah.
It's comfy.
It is comfy. Their streetwear is fantastic, but it's not their streetwear that we love them for. It's their audio equipment. They've been with us very close to the beginning of the Hungry Gamers and 8-Bit, but we were actually using their equipment right from the very start. Right back when it was Brendan, Reese, and myself, and Brendan and I bought 18 mics and there wasn't an 18 mixer. We got another mixer, but we had 18 mics. Reese had it looked like a John Law special. It was like this gold mic, which was not very good, and we ended up very quickly replacing that with also an AT 2020. So big fan of them from the beginning, and for good reason. Their equipment is fantastic. If you have any audio needs, be sure to go and check Audio Technica out. And I think that really wraps up for episode 118. Was there anything else other than plugs? Well, where can we find you guys? So I probably skipped over that part.
Totally did. You can obviously find me everywhere at Miss Ally Hunt.
You can find me on Twitter at Jono himself.
And you can find me at Saleem TD. You can find 8-Bit at We Are 8-Bit. And that is it, I think, for episode 118. Thanks, guys, for another absolutely fantastic episode, and we will see you all next week. Until then, much love.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.